guys, Max with HobbyKing back here with another product profile for you. Today we have the Quanum 5.8 gigahertz auto scan receiver. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a box, show you what comes inside. We're going to demo it for you, show you how it works. But first, before we do that, you might be wondering, why would I need this thing? Well, let's say you have a FPV monitor or a pair of our Quanum V2 goggles that don't come with an FPV receiver. This Quanum 5.8 gigahertz auto scan receiver will work great for you. It can detect 32 channels in the 5.8 gigahertz FPV band. So if you need a receiver, you can strap it up to your goggles or plug it into your monitor, and you can find every FPV channel within the 5.8 gigahertz band. Just one quick thing to mention for you guys racing mini quads or any kind of FPV racing, this receiver will not do race band. It will only do 32 channels again, not 40. So for those guys racing, definitely not for you, but for everyone else doing FPV or just messing around, definitely something you'd want to look into picking up. All right, so we have all of the box contents laid out here for you. So the first thing you're gonna get is your Quanum Auto Scan 5.8 gigahertz receiver box. Comes with this 5.8 gigahertz dipole antenna. You get your little instruction manual here. Tells you everything about the box, shows you all the frequencies and bands that it will cover, and also how to use it and the auto scanning feature, which I will show you just in a little bit. You also get a variety of cables. You get your power cable, which has a female JST plug in it. It will take 2S to 3S, so 7.4 volts to 12.6 volts. You get a variety of RCA and video cables. You have male RCAs and female RCAs, so if you guys have different monitors or different goggles, you will have something that you can plug your video into. You also get a cable to plug directly into your goggles, so for those of you with the Fat Shark goggles that can do a direct plug-in, got a cable for you. And you also have another one that you can use for RSSI, so if you were to sync two of these together with a diversity control box, you have a cable for that to plug them all together. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and demo the receiver for you. I'm gonna be using a few different things. Obviously, we're gonna be using our auto scan receiver box. I have one of our 5.8 gigahertz 7-inch diversity monitors that I'm gonna be using the video in capability of. I have our Quanum AX 180 that I have a Fat Shark 250 milliwatt transmitter on, and we're also gonna be using a Turnigy 1000 milliamp 3S LiPo to power our 5.8 gigahertz auto scan receiver. All right, so let's get everything plugged in and set up. So on the bottom of our auto scan box, you'll see we have an RSSI port, 2 video outs, and our voltage in. So we're gonna be taking our power cord, gonna plug it in here, and then we're gonna be taking our male RCA video cables, plugging them into our monitor. Obviously make sure all your colors are correct. Now we're gonna plug that into either video 1 or video 2, doesn't really matter. We're going into video 1. Now we're gonna be powering again with our Turnigy 3S battery. So now as we power the box, you'll notice that we get a solid blue light, which means that we are above 3.7 volts per cell on our battery. It will blink if you get below that, so nice little feature there. Now when we turn it on, you'll see we have our little screen here showing our signal strength, our battery voltage, our band and channel number, and then also it gives you the frequency of the channel you're on, which is really nice, so you don't have to carry around a little chart. And if you're flying with other people, you can see exactly what their frequency number is, so you can make sure you're separated throughout the 5.8 gigahertz band. All right, so we'll go ahead and power on our monitor. Now we're just gonna set it to video in. Now we're gonna go ahead and power our AX 180, which will begin transmitting video. Boom, and we have video. Now this had already been preset to the channel on the AX, but let's say you didn't know what channel you were on, or you wanted to scan around and see if other people were on any frequencies. This box will auto scan through all of the 32 channels that it can and pick all of the channels that are transmitting video. So the easiest, or the only way to do that is to press and hold down on the channel button. So if we press and hold down on it, you will see it say auto mode and scanning, and it will start scanning through all of the channels and bands. And it goes. goes all the way around. And then it locked into the strongest one, which is the one our Axe 180 is transmitting. And we have super clear video. You can see Alex and James there. And now you can, again, manually go through the channels if you want by just clicking the channel button here. And it will go through all the channels and bands. We'll just skip ahead on the process here. We'll go back to the one our Axe is. And there you go. Again, super clear video. All right, so let's say now you're out flying with a buddy of yours and you want to make sure you're on different frequencies and you have two of these auto scan receivers. So we brought in our second Axe 180 here, which is on a separate frequency. And we're going to show you how the auto scan feature works when you have two transmitters transmitting. So we'll power up our monitor here and we'll go ahead and start scanning through all the frequencies. Now you might remember that our first Axe 180 was on channel 7. And we'll find out quickly what our second one is on. And our second Axe 180 is on channel 2. You can see James over there.
My hand, there I am.
Now you might be wondering, well, why didn't it pick up the first Axe 180? And that's going to be that this box is going to lock on to the signal that has the strongest strength, with which you can see here by our RSSI indicator. Right now it's reading almost 100% signal on this first one. Now when we switch to channel 7, which our first Axe 180 was on, you'll notice that the strength of the signal is much lower now. So again, it's going to lock on to the strongest signal, and then you can always switch back and forth to whichever one you want to use. All right guys, so that wraps it up for the Quanum 5.8 gigahertz auto scan receiver box. Great little unit here, especially again if you have Quantum V2s or just a regular FPV monitor that doesn't come with a built-in receiver. Does 32 channels, super low power consumption, and can be used in tandem. If you use two of them together, you can get a nice diversity controller setup. So make sure you check the new items page. Cool things like this always coming across it. If you want to see anything else FPV related with things like this, make sure you leave a comment down below. Subscribe to HobbyKing Live and stay tuned for more product profiles.